iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racing enthusiasts all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. The car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and racing teams. Our skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly racing series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 200,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Participate in solo races, championship seasons, and hosted in league events with AI Racing. With a rapidly expanding catalog of 70-plus cars and 85-plus tracks from real-world racing series, test your abilities with challenging computer-based competition. Additional partners include IMSA, the World of Outlaws, and Supercars, allowing members to participate in their very own Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, Sebring 12-Hour, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Hello and welcome along, everyone. It's time for, well, it says round 2 there, but we all know it is round 3 officially of the season. We're live from Watkins, Glen, if what's going to be an absolutely epic, and so far this season, an epic season 13, the UKSR GT3 League. Already taken in the sights of Algarve and Interlagos, so tonight we head to the absolutely epic, and in my opinion, and this is controversial, I know, quite possibly the best road racing circuit in the world, Watkins Glen. Let me know in the chat if you disagree with me. Well, should I say, let me know if you are wrong in the chat and disagree with me. because it definitely is. Of course, we've got Road America in a week's time before he kicks up the double header of wet weather, Monza and Le Mans. But obviously, 2 rounds gone. Algarve, Portimao, new circuit to the series, and of course to iRacing service and Interlagos. Let's take a look at those championship standings, and kicking things off with Elite. It's Harold Sortas, 2 wins for 2. That's why he leads on 84 points. Ritardi, well, he's had an eventful season so far. Rankin only been with us for the 1 race, so that's gonna. We've still got plenty of racing left to do. Bamba, although despite being drawn forth with Armstrong, who's yet to make his appearance, Bamba is with us tonight. I chatted to Simon earlier on, and he's gonna put the cat amongst the pigeons in the Ferrari. That's what he tells me. Let's find out in the Elite Simulations Ferrari. Across into Pro now, and well, Leclerc again at domination from him so far. Looks so quick in the Audi. Darren Sharples in second for Old Dudes in Car Blue on 70 points, 12 points behind already. But this is where it gets a bit closer to that battle for second, because the 2 Caspers, Tunstead and Brockner of Peak and Old Dudes in Cars, are only 2 points and 4 points respectively behind them. Then we've got a nearly 30-point gap to Mark Collicott in 5th, with Marvin Cruz only 6 points behind him. Tom West again a little bit kind of drift now, 6 points behind, and Nathan Willoughby. Well, that's the way to start your season, my friend. Negative points. That's what I'm talking about. If you're going to do it the hard way, that's how you do it. Across into Pro-Am, where it's been a real fight, hasn't it? I mean, last time out at Interlagos Street to an absolute barnstormer. If you weren't with us, go back and watch it. I tell you what, it was an absolute cracker. Jack Barker leads the way in this championship, 4 points ahead of Sani of Racing Lab Esports. Rob Winter, he's in third. He is so close at the top end, only 8 points separating those top 3. And then you've got Nathan Anstis, who's only 4 points behind Windsor in 4th. And again, it's still close with Conley and Smith, and even Nicholas. So you can't really cut out the equation. Possibly Paul Halliday, maybe cutting a little bit of drift. He is 20 points behind Windsor, who's in 3rd. But you never say never with the Pro-Ams. Marsh in 9th, Edisford in 10th. And across to today's AMs, well, Matt Edmondson, he's been oh so dominant, hasn't he, this season. He's really mixed it up with the Pro-Ams and even the pros to an extent at time. Cy Hartley there in 2nd. It's where more the battle is at. Al Murray only 2 points behind him in 3rd. Owen Halliday on 62 then. A bit of a gap. Bostock, Skinner, Davis, Callu to run out that championship. As for the teams, it's Racing Labs who lead the way. That's Angard and Sani. Team Potato in 2nd. Clenand, they are in 3rd and only 6 points behind Potato in 2nd. So quite close there, relatively speaking, between them. We've got practice just coming to an end roughly. We've got a couple of minutes left in that. Let's get trackside and see how they've been getting on in practice. This is how they're currently looking. You can see Eric Sorosov, one of the newer drivers to the series, currently in pit road, but he is on top of the timing sheets there with a 1:42.547. And let's try and pick on someone here. Here we go, Paul Halliday. No pressure, my friend. Let's take a roll up right on board with you. Down towards turn 1. It's 90-degree right-hander. That exit is so crucial because it is put flat to the floor. Maybe a bit of a lift as you sort of head up through the S's. Let's see how Paul does it in the Porsche. Here, we're going to lift. No, he doesn't. And that's what happens. You scrape the wall. I told you I was going to pick on someone. I told you. However, here's Owen Halliday to pick up the mantle from Paul to No Pointers teams. Flicking in right, just take lots of that curbing on the inside, the entry to the bus stop. We're going to balance it, bouncing across the curves, through the carousel, and it's so easy to lose the rear. I'll tell you what, it's cursing the commentator tonight, isn't it? Because that is so easy to do in full commitment style. Well done there, Owen. Everyone's showing me up right now before we get into the boot section of the circuit. Again, trying to run out really wide, use all that curbing on the exit. And this is why Watkins Glen's so great. There's so many different lines around here, so many overtaking opportunities. Yeah, we're sure in the racing conditions, we might see a few people slinging around the outside, which is going to give you the momentum up the hill, past the Marshall's post on the left-hand side there. But we're going to hit the brakes now, around about the 150 mark before we throw it right. And then you've got a corner that's been, since this race going on iRacing, had a bit of a, bit of a reshape. A nasty bump on the inside has gone nearly. It's certainly a lot better than what it used to be before we're into the penultimate corner when the man had nearest damn it, a 90-degree left-hander there. Plenty of room on the outside before we bail, but his checkered flag out. Owen electing not to complete the lap there. As well, we're just going to transition through the sessions. Now we're going to get into qualifying and we get to find out who is going to claim the third pole position of the season so far. Harris Tortoise has been oh so dominant. Is it going to be the same for him tonight? Let's find out and see. Yeah, we're going to kick things off in round 3 of the season. 10 minutes of qualifying, of course, lone qualifying as always in this series. And you can see so many of you chat on that one. And Bathurst, you're wrong. Bathurst is not good. No, you're all wrong. Best circuit in the States from Pricey on Twitch. You're damn right. Damn right. I'd say in the world, hands down. You all love Bathurst, you absolute mentalists, say the least. Budget Racing Doom saying, if this is the effect of you talking, keep Edmondson off your screen. Should we do it? Might be rude not to, in some ways. Andy Skinner of Tiki Sim Sport in the Porsche, the 82 machine. He's my latest victim. Vincy saying that Compton's curse is real and it hurts you. It does, and I am quite possibly, time has shown to be the king of the curse of the commentators. I took it commentators. Hold on, I'll come. I've lost my train of thought. It's what comes of being old, folks. It just disappears from you. Skinner just heading out through the penultimate corner now before we're going to take on the first fire. I'll tell you what, we'll go for an onboard. It's a Porsche again. Maybe it's just the curse of the Porsche. I don't know. Through the final corner, we're going to take all that curbing. We're going to get as close to that wall on the outside. Let's see how Andy Skinner gets on his first flying lap. Down to turn 1. Late as you dare on the brakes. Plenty of curve on that inside there. Boy, you've got that lovely sort of paved section on the outside. Handy in racing conditions to keep your momentum up. So those tactical 1Xs definitely will be coming into play. Bit of a lift there to get it through the S's. Nicely done there, sir. Nicely done. And now we wait. We chill. And here comes the bus stop. On the brakes, flick it in, skim that wall on the inside. Right the curves like a fucking Bronco. Before we head through the carousel. All about throttle management. Just braking, balancing the throttle, balancing the car. Oh, so patient for it before we open it up. And then head down into the boots. Again, another corner you're going to be oh so patient with. Feels like you should get on the throttle so much earlier than what you do. Late apex. You can go for an early one here. But under qualifying conditions, does hamper your exit quite a bit. Can come in handy in racing conditions though to really back the traffic up that might be sitting behind you, thinking about an attack. We pick out, that 150 board there onto the brakes once more. And again, this used to be gravel on the left-hand side. You can get really far out wide there without picking up a 1X. And again, wait for that bump, wait for the car to settle. We're back on the throttle, and off we go again through that penultimate corner. And as the tyres warm up, you can throw the car into this one more and more. Such a rewarding corner through the final turn, using all of that camber on the inside just to dip the front right into it, hook the car around. Cruz goes fastest provisionally, and that's across the line for Skinner. What's it gonna be from him? Where does he go? Well, it's good enough for 5th, but it's top of AM right now. Okay, he might be the only AM that's qualified. That is not the point. That is not the point. Harris Tortoise going faster than anyone. Zef of Racing Labs slapping that one in. It's Audi 1-2 once again. But this time, it's not Nikolai Agard on the front row with the Tortoise. It's the Scandi that is Rozef joining him on there at the moment. Sharples, he is top of the pro there for Old Dudes in Cars. You see the commitment there from your Tortoise, the Lithuanian really throwing that Audi in. I mean, that's brave. The Audi so synonymous for doing Audi things. Lawrence Marsh atop of the Pro-Ams there at the moment. Chatting to him earlier on. He was a little bit worried we weren't going live. I'd already clicked it. He was just too eager. That's what we'd love to see. That's what we love to see. Bostock top of the AMs right now. That is with a 144.62. 1/10 faster than the lone BMW in the field. This is Simon Asani of Racing Labs. And in relation to Andy Skinner, who's second fastest in AM, that is, well, it's quite a sizable difference as David Rankin just slapping the Lamborghini there onto second, displacing Yatortas down one spot and onto that second row of the grid. As mentioned, Bostock just still coming out to that point, 4/10 faster than Skinner. And I've heard the name Skinner, always get Simpson vibes. I thought Marvin Cruz, I tell you what, this guy, he's looking on fire tonight, he's the German. As he's just gone third there, Nikolai Agard. Bit of a leap up the standings there, like a salmon from Racing Labs. Pretty much catching everyone towards the end of the laps there. Let's get a Ferrari in. We haven't seen the Ferraris this evening so far. Here's one of them, James Conley. Currently second fastest of the Ferraris right now. A bit of a swap around. Anstis going 14th before Bostock just edging him out, going faster for there. Displaced down Cy Hartley just going fastest in AM and snipping inside that top 10. And, well, it's so close to getting 9th behind Bearings as well. 7 thousandths of a second separating those two. Not quite as close as the battle for 11. 4 thousandths between Barker and Weston. As across the line goes Conley. We can improve. Windsor getting up into third there in class. Looking forward to this one. I think we need to have a bit of a place your bets now. How many people are we going to lose on the run? Well, I'm going to say by the end of the first lap. Are we going to make it through cleanly? Or are we going to see some casualties? It's, well, it's the perennial meme, isn't it? Let's face it, when it comes to Watkins Glen. Always a bit of drama, but so good for slipstreaming. Of course, 1 week ago at Interlagos in South America. So Chris Edison's run with the lowest wing quite possibly known to man. It was a nightmare for anyone in that Ferrari to overtake, and that carried him to that winning class. Let's see if it's about the second in class, wasn't it? Apologies. I know Edisford tonight, but I've got the feeling a few of them may well, looking at that tactic. Interesting, Matt Edmondson, haven't featured him tonight so far, and he's also had both his lap times deleted for off-track infringements. So he had to set a time. He's clinched pole in AM and won both races. In fact, you know, if you look at AM as just, you know, a race of its own, he's had the Grand Chelem in it pretty much. He's led every lap so far this season. He's had pole. I think he's had the fastest lap in AM as well for both the races, and of course taken both race victories in class. So Stena Sani just improving one up to 17th there. Maybe a bit disappointing for the BMW driver. Normally seen a bit higher up this evening. Sorry, this season even. Apologies, we do have Edisford with us. He's flying 14th overall right now. Look how close the times are. See the gaps on the left-hand side of the screen right now. Audi's looking strong here. I mean, Princey, on Twitch, they've been all season long. Are we going to see a car that isn't an Audi on pole? Realistically, it all comes down to this man here, David Rankin. What can he do? And it's not enough. He's 3/10 slower than Rosef. Wow, can anyone else displace him? Marvin Cruz, so he's bringing his car to a halt there. Who else have we got? There is Ediford. Only lying at fourth in class, apologies. Nearly I'm in the top 3 in class. Nobody really improving too much. Equally as well, Yatortas. Not looking like we're going to see him on pole this evening, but some magic. He's gone green in sectors 1. Oh, Nikolai Agard, a stunning first couple of sectors. Well, that's Yatortas done. Agard. Squeeze this one in. Cross the line. No improvement in time, but not in position. Look at this, though. I can't bring their cars up. Yatortas and Cruz are dead heat. for third. Luckily for the pair of them, it means that they're still going to be starting from the same row, so don't need to worry about any of those sort of shenanigans. But there we go. We'll get someone in. Ed's going to be one of the last ones across the line. So we've got what 15 seconds left in the session, of course. The cold hard fast shuts in this lone qualifying. As soon as we hit that 10-minute limit, the checkered flag comes out, and that is the end of the session. No carrying over. Is anyone else? I tell you, Edmondson, he's running out of time here, and I think he's not going to get a time in. No, he's not. Checkered flag out. The session ends. As we transition across to the race session now, Matt Edmondson not getting a time in there. Let's take you through your grid. Is it going to want to appear? Oh, no, this catches me out every single week. Apologies, viewers. I'm so used in my old age just heading straight across into the race session. Of course, we haven't find it when it warm up here. How long before that catches me up? So, Audi's looking strong, as mentioned earlier on. It's not your source on pole, though. It is Rosef. He's going to be top of the control the pack once the Petty's car comes in. So just trying to get some laps in there, trying to find that a bit of a groove that he's going to need. I mean, every single week, we've hardly seen him so far this season because he's just controlled the race from the front. He's headed off into the distance, and we've barely seen the guy. It's not going to be... Is it going to be something different? Of course, Lewis McGlade. He was the guy who wants to make a big shout out. Talking of commentators earlier on, before I lost my point. Congratulations to him. Going to be commentating on Formula E next season in real life, and also appearing for those viewers in the UK on TalkSport 2, no less, covering Formula E. Another commentator breaking out from the sim racing world into the real world, and doing it at a really high level as well. Congratulations to him. I mean, it's not his first radio in real world stuff. He's doing Euro Formula, I do believe, last year or so. So good on him. Great to see. Absolutely love it. No conspiracies here as to whether the VCO semis are fixed or anything like that. I can assure you they're not. Anyhow, so we're going to see an Audi win tonight, or are we going to see? I mean, realistically, for a non-Audi win, you've got to look to ranking of Olympus Esports in the 14. Bring in any sort of a chance of breaking that and breaking this dominance from your sources that we've seen so far this season. Or are we going to see someone else do it? Love to know your thoughts as always in the chat. Let me know who you're cheering on. What are your predictions for this evening? Matt Edmondson, is he going to make it like you taught us? 3 wins from 3, potentially. Or is it going to be the grand shake-up this evening? On Twitch, Revo GG, go DCWR. And, jeez, a bit of a ping there where, let's look at that one. So we're going off in the background there, not too sure what that was. Anyway, turns out a bit of a scrape on the wall, and that's going to catch a few drivers out in the racing conditions. Those are really, really pushing. So easy to scrape that wall on exit. You know, the fastest line around that final turn is to get close to that wall on exit. But it comes with a risk, doesn't it? It's that perennial risk and reward. This is one driver I'm looking forward to seeing, that BMW. The BMW, of course, synonymous with how good it's been over the curve since it came to the service. Now, a real staple around the Nordschleife, where you can just munch up those curves at breakfast. Well, there's plenty of curves to munch up around here, namely where we're going to see into the bus stop. Okay, all 4 wheels airborne there as he hits the curb. The Norwegian of Racing Lab Esports. So mention coming up in about only 2 weeks away now, aren't we, in the calendar? Before we head to Monza, first ever rain race in the UKSR GT3s. Sticking with North America though, 1 week's time we're heading to Road America. Too big a trip from where we currently are. This track's synonymous. Of course, 4 by home to F1 as well. Always noted about the Battle of the Glen in this place, and I'm sure it's going to be no different for us this evening. Let's move on from that, curse the commentators. And Ruben Bearings, we've got to mention, we've had a shout for you in the chat, and DCW Racing, as the session comes to an end. We just caught you in there. Now we get to head across into the race session. We can take you through your grid for this evening, and let's have a look how they're going to line up. Running some riders. Eric Joseph on pole with Rankin, a brand new front row for this season. An elite front row. How does she taught us? Demoted, not to second but to third after clinching those first two pole positions of the season. He's joined by Marvin Cruz, who looks electric in qualifying. What can the old Doozing Cars driver do? He starts from top of pro. Nicola Agard and Darryl Sharp will share row 3, while it's Casper Tunstead and Tom Weston of the DCW drivers making up row 4. Your top 10 was top driver in AM, Cy Hartley of Tiki Simsport, and an amazing qualifying from him. He's out-qualified the whole of Pro-Am. That is an achievement and a half. Casper Brockner joins him on row 5 and completes that top 10. Then we've got the first Pro-Am row, and it's an all Pro-Am row. Ruben Bearings and Jack Barker, the privateer. Next up, row 7, Rob Winter and Chris Eddersford. Can he defend for his life again this week? Lawrence March, Johnny Jones from Conley on row 8. Well, row 9 is Steiner Sani and James Bostock. Nathan Anstis and Simon Bamba. Disappointing for Sam Simon. He's going to be gutted by that qualifying. The elite driver all the way down in 20th position and completing row 10. Row 11, that's the all-am row of Dave Robson. And the all-Tiki Simsport row, in fact, with Andy Skinner joining him. Alistair Murray and Daniel Pay make up row 12 of the grid. And row 13 might be unlucky for some. Let's hope it's not for the Hallidays and the Noel Pointers of Paul and Owen. Well, Matt Edmondson not seeing a time in qualifying, neither did Razzani. He joined very, very late on. It's interesting to watch him. Definitely brings the fireworks, does the Olympus driver. Sure, it's going to be no different this evening. Just making the way through the field. So we've got Matt Edmondson support, we've got DCW Racing support in the chat. Who else have we got? Racing Lab support in the chat. We've got some people who believe that Bathurst is the best circuit in the world, even though they're completely wrong in the chat. You know who else you're supporting this evening. Great to have you on board, of course, live on Twitch and YouTube. As always, every Sunday evening. Not even the clock's changing, keep some of us away. And interesting, the top 3, we've got all 3, 3 of the manufacturers up there. Lamborghini, Porsche and Audi. Which one's going to walk away? And then we've also got this, pretty much the whole of Pro-Am all together. That is going to be one epic fight. Is someone going to get the jump? Is someone going to get away from this group, or let's see something maybe a little bit different? Of course, we've got the likes of Edmondson, who just joined on board right now. He's got his work cut out if he wants to showcase some of the skills that he's shown us so far this season. There you go, Porsche 911 safety car nearly around the entirety of the circuit, just having it to the penultimate corner before it pulls in. Eric Rosef of Racing Lab will control the pace. Now we're going racing 1 hour here from Watkins, Glen in America. I see Yoda, good man. Any takers? How many cars will crash before the first straight? We'll find out. Porsche 911 safety car is in. Let's get ready to go racing here from Watkins Glen, round 3 of season 13 as we are green and we are away, and Rankin just left floundering there. Rosette not hanging around at this start as we head through the 90 for the first time this evening. Everyone trying to make their way through. Bit of a shuffling around. Oh, there's spinners in the background there. Who's that around? Oh, there's more. There's a big incident here. Well caught up in that one. Just trying to make his way through. There goes Andy Skinner. He's lost places, but it's Bamba's one of the cars caught up. So is Daniel Pay, another one. Oh, just trying to pick his way through there. But up at front is Rosef still controlling that pace. Everyone trying to make their way through the bus stop right now. Looking good, there is Edisford. Of course, saw that great defence from him. He's already, Bearings and Barker already starting to get away in this early stage here. Everyone making their way through the back of the circuit right now. Into the toe of the boot. No major, other than what we saw at the back. Rizzani's up 9 places. You can just see him in the background there. Trying to make up some more in the Lamborghini for Olympus. And, well, let's have to defend a little bit for the moment from Starney and also Halliday there, who are themselves going a bit of a go at one another. As that's very, very wide there from the Porsche Paul Halliday, but it gets away with that one. Meanwhile, back at front as we come through to complete lap 1. Rosef leads for Rankin. Yatortus in 3rd. Then it's Agard leading that class battle at the moment. Cruz down a place into 5th. Sharples, Tunstead, Weston, Cy Hartley down 1 overall. He's down to 10th, but he's still leading Am and by a country mile because Bostock is lays at 1 place. He's only in 17th. 8 cars between the pair, well, 7 cars between the pair of them at the moment as we head up through the S's for the second time this evening. And do we see the sort of race that we saw from Hartley, that we've seen from Edmondson so far this season, where just plays it quite safe relatively? Although, I think the system's got its Simons mixed up because that is an effect car. I did wonder how we had Cy Hartley qualify so high. I have no offence to Cy, but that would make sense because that looks to me like that is Bamber. So, okay, right, bit of a change around and things. I love an underdog story. You know, come at me for absolutely, you know, loving, you know, having someone up there fighting is way out of their depth. So that does mean then that James Bostock leads GP2. Racing down in Pertec GP2, apologies, down in... See, 18th overall right now. Rizzani in front of him, who's up 11th so far at these early stages. It's a little bit wide there from the Ferrari. That's Rob Windsor getting a bit wide. Jack Barker really not getting on this early stages. He's dropped quite a few places. For the S as we go. And not the casualties that we thought we might see here. And the opening laps, certainly not as bad as what we thought it would be. Of course, it's one of those tracks, isn't it, where it is all or nothing in terms of what you see and how things pan out. And who ends up getting caught up in them. I mean, Ritani is onto a flight so far, picking up more and more people. There we go. Got the thing sorted out now. There's Simon Bamber effect. We're all good. All good in the hood. So relatively calm start. And Bearings really leading. It's just seeing them move from the Lamborghini there. That's Barker trying to reclaim another place. James Coley won the two UKSR Ferraris. Andersford and Hoy, Cleland for Connolly. So that's Ritani up another place. That's Rob Winsey's just displaced of Team Potato. 13 places gained now for the Olympus driver. Electing to go for the endurance lights there. That's into Barker. Yeah, but exactly the same car. There's extra lights in the front and the spotlights lit brightly. Ritani. Since you don't see that on the front end of the Lamborghini Huracan of Barker. So let's run on board as we head up through the S's. With Ritani. We're going to try to make this another place. Full attack mode, fully engaged right now. But might just be that little bit too far back to try and make an advantage yet. He knows that he backs out of it. Let's get the momentum coming off the corner to try and make a move here. What's he going to do? Is he going to sit behind? Is he going to wait? So let's head to the drone. And oh, they're just in time for the lunge for Ritani. Sends it full commitment on Barker, the privateer. No messing whatsoever there. Gets the job done and instantly tries to have a look at Conley. Completely napping potentially there, but shut the door in the Olympus driver's face. But surely this is not when. So not if, but when. Moves car to the inside. Asserting his authority in the situation. We've had a bit of an incident. Let's take a little look what's happened to Robson. Tiki Sim Sports. Oh, touch the grass and into the wall he goes. We'll have a little back now. Things have just slightly calmed down to what we had happen at the start. Let's take it on in. So Dave Robson, one of those drivers called up. Not been the Tiki Sim Sport driver's night this evening. Oh, was it blue on blue contact? Yes, it was. They took each other out. And there was further incidents elsewhere. So let's take a little look here at Cy. So that was Cy Hartley on the outside. Owen Halliday, no pointers, was another one. Oh, just got turned there and then collected by the spinning and out of control Tiki Ferrari. Well, drama at the start. No, in abundance. Dalian Pay as well as the other driver caught up in that one. I think he just lost it of his own accord. So now we've got everything updated as Bamber just making a move there on Casper Brockner. So he tries to pick his way through the Pro-Am field, sorry, the Pro field even. He's got a long way to go. He's back to where he started this race, in fact, having started in 9th. Real topsy-turvy race. But the guys up front really starting to pull away now. Gap's starting to open up. Unless at the front end of, well, of Pro-Am. Sorry, I keep calling it Pro-Am. Apologies about that. Because 4th overall, that's the Racing Lab Cup at Audi of Vanguard. He's incredibly close on to, well, fellow Audi driver, but Abilis Motorsport, Aaronis Utortas, who's in front of them, and it's not the dominant display we've come to see and know from Utortas, because he is 1.9 seconds behind Rankin. These two really need to work together. Rankin himself 1.1 seconds behind Brzezinski. And it's that platform of Audi and Lamborghini. Of course, these cars are identical on the underside. it's just oh so dominant this season. And it's not best of the rest. Marvin Cruz in a little bit of a pocket of space right now, the German, for Porsche. And lead Porsche driver tonight, producing cars, 90. He's 1.2 seconds behind, ahead of old dude in cars driver, but it's the blue outfit, Darren Sharples, the Brit. He's bringing along a bit of a train behind him. Tunstead, Weston, Bamber, Brockner, and Bearings, all involved in that one. Again, just settling down a little bit here. Everyone knowing that it's a long old race ahead. 10 minutes complete out of the 50. About to head out onto lap 7. Just making the way through the circuit. Also have a bounce to keep an eye on. We've got a bit of a train firming further down the field. I'm so tongue-tied tonight. Lawrence Marsh leading that one. Welshman, 16th overall, has Rob Windsor and Anstis, the 2 team potato drivers. A Ferrari sets up behind him. Not too far off and just within slipstream range of Barker in front of him. As we head up through the S's, up the hill. You're going to get appreciation of the closing speed between these cars. As we look back from the Porsche, and you see the Team Potato, and I think that might have been a clip of the wall on the inside. He'll get away with that one. But too many of those, and that will inflict quite a bit of damage to the car, an aerodynamic damage that is going to cost him on the straight lines here. The Porsche always synonymous with just how good. It's through the corners, it's real forte. I can see catching up with the chat. Fire Katie on Twitch, good luck to the Hallidays tonight. A bit late for that one. Both caught up with one another early on in the race. Owen has headed to the pits, had fallen a lap down because of it due to the damage incurred from it. That's the other one, Paul. There he is. Caught him eventually. He lies 22nd overall. It's up 3 places incidentally, and 1 in class, and 9th in class. It's Paul Holiday. Tortoise had a moment in the bus stop, it seems. I mean, yeah, he's lost so much time compared to everyone else. That gap now 2.1 seconds behind Rankin up front. So Nicola Agard just losing a bit of time to your Tortoise. No, sorry, apologies. Gaining time on your Tortoise, if anything. That gap has definitely shrunk down. In fact, currently lies a measly 4/10 of a second. The racing lab driver just electing just to try and follow him through, stick with him, because it's dragging him all the way to victory in class at the moment. I know it's very early on to speak that as we start to approach quarter race distance, but Marvin Cruz, 2nd in class. You'll make him out in the background there in the black all decent cars Porsche. 5th overall, 2nd in class. That gap has grown between those two. On the last lap alone, the rate of half a second nearly. Darren Sharples still trying to stay in touch, but starting to fall down the wayside. Yeah, 3rd in that pro category. Got Bamber just bogged down in that. The elite driver. 1st to 4th in pro in front of him. Although a little bit spaced out, but 3rd place being fought over obviously between Sharples and Tunstead. As for that AM battle, pro-am battle, apologies. Ruben Bearings of DCW Racing. One of the Porsches here. And pulling away at the dramatic rate from Edisford, who's yet again 2nd in class. But isn't being harassed and harangued like he was a week ago at Interlagos. See the leaders at the top of your screen. Edmondson, now this is really crucial here. So Edmondson did not set a lap in qualifying. Every time got deleted. He was just about to make it right at the end. However, ran out of time by nearly, 3 or 4 seconds. It didn't get a time. It started at the back of the field with Rattani. Rattani's, well, being a elite chair driver, does find it a little bit easier to come through the field. He's made up 16 places, 12 overall, whereas Edmondson, who was that off? I saw a big cloud of smoke, and everyone really, really slow here and checking up. As it all flips around on its head. Bostock, we've got Sarni, Windsor, all involved there. A real gaggle, and that BMW seems to be going very, very slowly. As what happened, I think, let's have a look, see what happened to Windsor. Bit of a blink there from one of the Porsches. I think that might be, yes it is, it's Bostock, the leader in the AM category. Let's take a little look at what happened to Windsor. I think this is what has maybe caused it. Yeah, you can see BMW Sani in the background there. The team potato. Oh, it was the Lamborghini in front of them of Marsh that just flipped it around. And that's what caused the Constantina effect. This battle became a little bit more tricky. Let's ride on board with Edmondson, the sweeper in this group. Right, that UK SR Hoy Porsche 911 up the hill. A little bit wiggly there from Bostock in front of us, I see. We're going to be too far back to try and make an attempt at getting past here as we head into the bus stop chicane. Stagnating around about 3 tenths in that group. I see the flashing of the lights there from Rattani of the Olympus. Lamborghini. He's got pass room bearings, your class leader in that Pro-Am category, but not content with that one. He wants more places. Also in the previous rounds was guaranteed finishing on the podium due to the lack of elite drivers, but with nearly a full complement with us this evening, that's not guaranteed. When he appeared in the session and spotted that one, he may well have regretted not being able to qualify. Sharp odds. We're seeing a repeat of what we saw with Edisford in the Pro-Am category last week, where is he the cork in a bottle? Tunstead, Sarni, Tunstead, Brockner, Rattani, Bearings, Western, all up onto this group, all involved. Through the S as we go. Further look down the field though, because this gaps are shrinking between Marsh, Windsor and Sarni. About 6 tenths of a second covering the 3 of them right now in the battle for 16th place. We're going to see a move from that BMW with Sarni of Racing Labs. Of course, his fellow teammate Eric Rosef leading the race overall in the Audi, but this is a real strong chance now for the Scandinavians to try and make some progress here. Try and pick up a few places. And Windsor definitely had a bit of a momentum, obviously, after that incident we saw happen here. Only 1 lap ago. And it was one of the Lamborghini, it was Jack Barker, in fact, the privateer, who came to blows with, and that's going to be a move around the outside for Windsor, or is it, as he fights back to Lawrence Marshy. That Porsche, he's not giving this one up. He's going to have the inside line for the next corner. As he throws it up the inside there, tries to remain alongside that Team Potato Ferrari. And finally Windsor makes his way past Marsh's. Oh, a bit of a fluff for smoke there, maybe a bit of a lockup from someone prior. What's it? What has happened to Tom Weston? He is appearing as being in the pits. Bearings in 2, and that is very early on, and well, just shy of the 20-minute mark. I think we've had a bit of an incident here happen. Right, I'm just trying to unpick this one. I think this is what causes it. There is Ratani. There's that part of the track. Has a look at the inside, and there's contact, and he's sent spinning. So, oh, and there we go. He just clips him. He clips Winston, who ends up in the wall. And I'm trying to spot who that is. I think was that Bearings? No, clip Bearings, I think, and it was Weston who ends up in the wall. Let's throw it on board. See if we can get it on board here with Weston. Tiny ahead, you can see that long lazy spin. He holds his brakes and oh, nowhere to go. Oh, and then he speared off into his teammates. And yet again this evening, teammates, through no fault of their own necessarily, coming to blows and shaking up the order. First it was Tiki, now DCW. There we go. Whoa. Definitely proving to be a enduring race this evening. It's only an hour in length and we've only been going just shy of 21 minutes, but it feels like a hell of a lot longer. I've had so much happen. Incidentally, Ratani got going again. After all of that, there he is. So he's in 10th at the moment and he's up 18 places. I do wonder if the stewards will watch it. I mean, he looked like he was on the brakes. He got nowhere to go. It's such a... when you're pointing the wall at that part of the track, you're a bit of a sitting duck. You've just got to... You know, it's like George Russell in the F1 when he was sat there on his side, yelling for red flags because you're just so vulnerable. Nowhere to go. Nothing you can do whatsoever. Marsh onto the back of Starney though. And this is looking like we're going to see a move here on lap 13 for 15th place. We're going to make a move around the outside. No, we elect to back out of it. Starney's going to be slow off the corner though. And that BMW from that compromised line in. Really shallow entry into the bus stop, but able to fend that one off through the carousel. Get back online. Get back in the momentum. And Marsh is just going to have to make do with 16th for now, but Bostock and Edmondson fighting for the top of right behind him. And Bostock is stuck between, well, a rock and a hard place right now because he'd love to get past Marsh. He'd love to put a car between himself and Edmondson. But if you get it wrong, you do not make that overtake. Oh boy, does it hurt you? Because you could so easily lose that place and drop down. Top three unchanged, Rosef, Rankin and Usortus. It's certainly the only drivers other than Owen Halliday, who's not inside the car but running down in 26th, that haven't changed from the starting position. This is looking a bit better from Marsh. Good exit off of the 90, turn one up through the Estes. Here we go. Surely we're going to see the move here. So we head to the drone. Windsor going a little bit slow there. We move left, we move right. We're trying to find a way through. And in fact, is that one on the back, man? No, it's not on the back. We're trying to work out who we were making our way past. Yes, that'll be Alistair Murray. We've just made our way past. That just, at the moment, being in the right place in the right time. Sometimes motor racing, it's just all about those moments. And Sarni able to use him in a pawn to defend from Marsh. But just how much longer for? That's one of the killer questions we've really got to be asking ourselves right now. Looks like a prize-fighting boxer, duking left, right. Zipping, diving, ducking, dodging as the top two are now make their way past Murray. UKSR Glen, one of the ones caught up in an earlier instance, that's why he's already a lap down here at the 25-minute mark. Well, it's still to do for Emerson, but he'll know it's on his time as that is an early stop there for Brockner. Roll-dozing cars as he comes in from 9th position in the Porsche. It's also followed in, interestingly, by Rob Windsor. Maybe he's carrying a bit of damage, Windsor, from that earlier contact and electing to pop in, try and clear some of that, take his stop now. As we go back to this battle for 14th, the top two. I think this is going to be an amazing battle potentially to watch all race long as it ebbs and flows. And I tell you what, Bostock knows he's in a little bit of trouble right now as you head for a bit of smoke there. And I'm wondering, what is it related to? Owen Halliday, looks like he's had a bit of an incident. No, it's the wrong part of the circuit, although... What do you mean? So inflicts injury and just that long lazy spin, too much commitment. Round the rear goes. Get back through now. Through his mirrors. This Bostock, Edmondson knows that. Just moving around left, right, in the braking zone. It's all perfectly legal, but it's all part of the mind games. As Casper Tunstead this time heads down pit road. Stick with these guys though. See how it pans out between them. Is Edmondson finally going to get his wish? And unfortunately, wow, no, that is interesting. In Edmondson electing to head down pit road. Bored with toying with Bostock, goes for the undercut. Of course, we saw that work a week ago. And that battle for Pro-Am as meanwhile, there it is. Sarni, surely he's going to lose this. Surely Marsh will take it from him. Marsh has been knocking at the door lap after lap after lap. Sarni goes defensive once again, just trying to cover up that inside space. Marsh not close enough, just backs out of it once more, trying to play the safe game as all Bamper getting past Cruz there. Let's take a little look how that happened, because that seems like Cruz has lost a bit of time, or maybe just me. No, this guy's been catching them over the last few laps, 4 attempts on the last lap, in fact. And a relatively easy job from Bamber there, third in class, and still remaining third in class, but now up 5 places into 4th. And Cruz now needs to be a little bit careful. They were clearing one of the back markers. That would have been Aston Murray, and maybe that's just affecting things a little bit. Meanwhile, Lawrence Marsh, what can you do, my friend? You need to come up with some answers here against Sarni, who seems to hold all the cards. A little bit twitchy on exit, the BMW. Will get away with it, though. But too much of that will be cooking those rears. It's a done. We have a little look at the weather. Yeah, there we go. Found it. There we go. 19 degrees Celsius ambient, 22 degrees trap temperature, so nice cold day. Certainly in racing standards anyway. Nathan Anstis down pit road, 13 Potato, up on the jacks taking on tyres there. I guess fuel into the car. That's Conley versus Edisford in what is the battle for the lead of Pro-Am once more. Edisford will have a strong sense of deja vu, having been at this stage, but he led the entirety of the race in Pro-Am by this stage 1 week ago. See on the YouTube chat, go bearings from Gina Peters. Well, having a bad race is Ruben, having already taken his pit stop. Third place of the drivers that had pitted so far. He's down in 18th overall. 7th in class. He's down 6 places in class, but that is due to that pit stop having no one else in his class that is in front of him has stopped yet. So in a really, really strong position at the moment for him. Also, another change this week is that there's two Ferraris against each other. Yeah, Edsford using straight line speed of the Ferrari. So he's always been known for this car. As we've had a bit of an incident as no gets away with that one, Edsford. Aston Murray down in 23rd or loses the rear. Now Rob Windsor's had an incident as well. Does he collect him? Flicks the car around. That's all looking good. At the moment, he gets going again once more. So I don't think it's caused by that. Let's take a look what happened to Rob Windsor. So a completely different incident, different part of the track. This is the entry into the bus stop chicane. Oh, too much curb. And that's a one-way ticket to the barrier. And that is a big impact for the Team Potato car. And that's taking him straight to the pits. Big damage at the front end of that Ferrari. And that could be race ending for him. And now crucial in the battle for the lead up and Bostock into the pits. Now, where is Edmondson? Well, he's already through turn one. The undercut working an absolute treat for him. He was 5 seconds shorter in the pit stop. But by the time they come out, it's going to be about a 7-second gap between the pair of them. 7 seconds. That is a big margin. Edmondson did gain an extra additional second through the pit stop. So, even so, still managed to make him a second on his outlap. That is some strong going from the Brit. And that surely, well, implosion from himself is going to carry him towards 3 wins from 3 in class. Andy Skinner currently leads Am right now, but he is yet to stop for Tiki Simsport. Last of the drivers out on track at the moment that has not stopped so far. Everyone from himself upwards, except for Lawrence Marsh, is just heading down pit road as a privateer. So Skinner currently in 14th overall. Everyone above him all yet to stop, with the exception of Marsh, you can see on the screens right now, heading down pit road. Meanwhile, these two just still will not leave each other alone. Connolly still in hot pursuit of Edisford. 2 UKSR drivers, as mentioned, Hoy. So Edisford driving for the Hoy brand, Cleland for Connolly. And will it take some pit strategy genius to get past Edisford this week again? It's the only way to really undo him, but full commitment and full send on him when it came to passing. Incidentally, returning your hardest position climber. He's at 21. Paul Halliday, another one. He's at 13 places, but he is yet to stop. So he's going to lose a few of those places once that has kicked in. And once he has taken his pit stop. There's another one in. It is Simon Bamber heads to pit road, this time for effect. Coming in from 3rd in class. He was 4th overall. Cruz carries on by. You could say Cruz is past him. There you go. Appalling pun number 1 for the evening. Ticked off the list. No, it's not the Audi dominance up front, is it either? It's Rosev. Welcome along, Rosev of Racing Lab Esports. We've barely seen you since the start. Leads 2 seconds over ranking. That gap has slowly, bit by bit, been growing. In terms of traffic, they've got a bit of a window now before they encroach onto. It's going to be Dave Robson is the next car on track that they would come across. Bamber's just heading out the pits. He's come back out in 12th position. As in comes Skinner from the lead of Am, which is going to mean Edmondson will head on through to the lead. However, it's going to be interesting to see where Skinner comes out, because Bostock could be the driver of threat here, potentially. No, he's not going to be. He's heading through the penultimate corner, so he will be okay. We'll move up to 2nd in class. Where is Cy Hartley? There is the Tiki Simsport Ferrari. And that is just heading well. Down towards the toe of the boot, so that is looking really strong for Skinner. Another of the Tiki Simsport cars. to finish on the podium in class here today. That's up race from ranking. You just see them, there we go, heading through in the well, what was the background? Now your foreground. So that's another car for them that they have cleared. And this time it wasn't on track. It's in the pit stop. Just making their lives easier bit by bit. Edmondson's up onto the back of Marsh. Who will admit, Marsh, with that livery, it confuses the every. I think he's got damage on the car. He hasn't. A commentator's nightmare. Maybe a bit of payback for all the commentators' curses that I've put onto people so far this season after Amelia's, what, 2.5 rounds that we've been through. Also, a week's time we'll be heading to Road America, no less. As you're racing, saying in the Twitch chat, throwback to last season's Pro-Am fights between UKSR. Well, it's looking like it's building itself up to be no different here today. Marsh is trying to pull out a bit of time over Edmondson. Porsche. Now walking away from his fellow Porsche driver. Looking at other battles, this gap. Yeah, that's crucial for Edisford because Conley had dropped back and he's just put a car between him. A bit of a tricky part of the circuit. Surely going to be a bit of a flash of lights from Conley here as he tries to get past Cy Hartley there. To the brakes we go. No, apologies, is that Skinner? No, it's not Skinner. Oh, Cruz. There we go. Caught him in the end. Heads down pit road. It was Owen Halliday, apologies, who were just making their way past there. And currently a couple of lap down on those drivers. In fact, Everton just managed to eke out another couple of tenths. He's broken that 1 second gap between himself and Connolly, who's, well, it looks like Connolly bailing. He's heading down pit road. On the brakes, gets it slowed down in time. Pit limiter on. Who's currently sat in his box. Edisford looking to run this one in really, really deep here. So Paul Halliday's had a bit of an incident out on track. We'll see if we can bring in this one, what's exactly happened. Bamber behind him in the effect Lamborghini, and maybe I didn't quite edge him. Heads around the outside. Oh, was that a little bit of a netcode there? I'm not too sure. Did Bamber give him enough room? We will. I'll tell you what. Let's have another look from a different angle here. We'll look down from. We'll head to the drone. So we come through the penultimate corner in the final corner. Oh, I'm not too sure on that one. Maybe a bit of netcode and maybe a bit of an additional assistant there. Meanwhile, leader into the pits, followed in by Rankin. Double R in for Racing Labs and Olympus. Agard follows them in too. He heads on down. What's Ritani gonna do in the Lamborghini? He's up to 4th overall. A little bit further back down the track compared to our top 3 right now. There we go, Ritani followed in by Sharples. Currently looking at an Audi win for Elite, an Audi win for Pro-Am. Well, that's still very much up for grabs. As Edisford heads to pit road now. Now, this is really crucial. Sarni in the BMW too. So Sarni's brought himself back into contention here. Rosev heads out of the pits, back out into the lead here. But Rankin's made up about half a second there. That's going to bring him back into contention once more. Bamber heads on by. We'll go back ahead of Ritani. So where did Edisford come out? Where is he? There he is. He's still sat on pit road. Where is Connolly? There he is. He heads out of the final corner. This could be crucial in for the lead. Well, no, it's going to be for second in class because, of course, Ruben Bering's leading that one. Ansted's actually ahead of them. So this is all flipping on its head with all these different pit strategies from our drivers. But Edisford's made it work. The overcut working for him. He comes out into second place. And it is game on. 4 drivers, 2 podium positions in class up for grabs. And we've got 20 minutes in which to decide this one. It's Edisford versus Anstis versus Connolly versus Sarni. And they're in one long train heading down towards the bus stop. So looking across to the chat, Gina Pitt saying, go on, bearings, yeah. He's well within the shot, looking good for that winning class right now. So I thought, budget racing noob, has Matt taken enough fuel? Is he much shorter in the stop? That's of course leading to Matt Edmondson leading that Pro-Am category. And just to give you some information on that one, he was much shorter than Bostock. However, Bostock did have a slow stop at 23 seconds. For everyone else, roughly around about the 18-second mark out on average across pretty much the entirety in the field. So, good for him. Meanwhile, Edison having to defend for his life yet again. Here in Season 13, the UKSR GT3 League, being asked a lot of questions by Anstis, that Team Potato Ferrari, right hot on his heels now. And he's got Connolly in tow. Whichever way Anstis goes to attack Edisford, you can bet your bottom dollar Connolly will tack the opposite way. But then you've got Sarni in this equation as well. What will he do? He can see it all happening in front of him. He can see it all just opening up. Is he going to have to play the NASCAR-esque? Just pick and aim for the gaps of everything is all unfolding in front of him. We're right on board with the Scandinavian and the BMW M4. Down the back straight we go. Looking towards the bus stop, nothing happening too much up front. A lot more curb from Sarni and pretty much everyone else compared to Connolly, who's just in front of us. So there's a big queue happening as Edisford having to back everyone up, not getting the best of exits and through the carousel. And here comes Anstis up the inside. And will Connolly follow him? But here comes Sarni right round the outside as we head down in towards the boot. It is as tight as like you can throw a blanket over these guys. Half a second covering second, third, fourth, and fifth in class as Connolly just squeezed to the outside. And here comes that BMW. Can it get the drive off the corner? As Edisford less flowering once more. You have to wonder, have those front tyres gone from him again as they almost touch Connolly and Edisford coming to blows very, very nearly. The two sister Ferraris. As Connolly looks to the inside again of Edisford, can't get it past. We ride on board with the Brit. Won't get a move there. Dab of the brakes from Edisford just to sell the car on entry. Down into the final corner. And Connolly, oh, was that just showing his hand a little bit too early? Is that going to hurt him on this run? Down towards the 90. Yes, it is, because here comes Sarni in that BMW. But Sarni backs out of it. He knows he needs to wait because this is the opportunity. Edisford taking on this tactical one exit, using all of that tarmac beyond the curbing here. We've got 16.5 minutes in which to decide this one between these four. Rosef just saying fastest lap of the race, our leader. And it's not looking as angst. But the more that these four battle, Lawrence Marsh is not far behind these guys. You can see that Porsche 911 just in the background. The Welsh privateer driver can be brought into this equation. And what is a four-way fight will turn very quickly and very easily into a five-way fight. And there you got Matt Edmondson. He's looking to score 3 wins from 3 and Am. He's not too further down the road. Certain camera angles, you might make him out in the background as Sarni and that BMW makes another lunge. But doesn't get the move done, just seems to lack that bit of conviction, but he's got the drive off of the corner. So we head down towards the heel. But again, thinks twice about it, maybe a bit more commitment from the Racing Labs esports driver. As again, he pulls alongside of Conley, but can't get it done. And Conley just wants to shake him. He doesn't want to be alongside another driver because he can see Anstis and Edisford just getting away from him bit by bit, corner by corner. It's half a tenth at a time, but it all mounts up because that gap's out to half a second now. Sani pulls to the inside. Will Conley just let him go? But again, he backs out of it. He gets alongside, and then he thinks twice about it. Conley just taking another half-tenth out of Edisford and fully in the draft. Fully in commitment now. Whip back from Edisford's Ferrari. You see, definitely Conley not as committed through the bus stop there. As Anstis, it's all just an accordion effect. He starts to pull away from this group. And I just get the feeling that maybe, just maybe, that he has just cooked his tyres like he did 1 week ago. As something's happened to Cruz. We'll take a quick look exactly what happened to him as we look from the drone. Oh, and it's retired. Oh, wow. Well, not too sure about that one. That's one for the stewards to look at, and one to the side is, oh, Anstis, not the best drive off the corner, and Edisford now alongside of him. And Sani, he's finally got it done. After countless attempts, he makes his way past Conley. Now he needs to get after Edisford. But it's 0.8 of a second is the gap between the pair of them. It's game on here in round 3, and it is turning out to be the battle of the Glen. It's always Watkins. It always brings the drama, the excitement, and it never fails to deliver this place. The scene of many a great battle in real life and sim racing. Whether it be the Watkins 6 hour, or just a regular league race like this. Now, what will Conley do? He's just have a bit of a survey of the situation. Can he believe in Sani enough to close that gap up to Edisford and Anstis? Or is he gonna... oh, that's a spin and Sani's gone. He's out of the equation. He's kept it out of the wall. But what was a four-way fight has now dropped to a three-way fight. And crucially, Sani gets in behind Jack Barker there. So he's dropped from 4th in class down to 7th in class, 16th overall for him. Is that he has now left a big, big gap between himself, between Conley and Edisford, apologies. And Conley out of slipstream range. And is he out of a chance to finish in that class podium position? It's 3 Ferraris. It's 2 podium places. And it's game on here at Watkins. What have you got, James Connolly? You need to drive your life to close this one up. But as the late great Rory Walker said, catching people is one thing. Passing is something completely different altogether. As you see, Barker now coming back into the equation. I mean, after the earlier on incident, at the start of the race, could he be the dark horse in this to snatch one of those podium places? We've lost Sani. We could lose another one. But he needs to get past Edmondson. But Edmondson, well, we've seen him. He likes a bit of a fight, but equally he knows himself. There's another big chance for championship points up for grab here today with that class win. He's at 13 places overall, this Edmondson. He's up into 14th, only eclipsed by Bassiani, who's up into 5th overall and up 23 places, although I think he might lose some of them. And there goes Barker up the inside of Edmondson, who Almost like a bit of a swapping of team orders, just allows him all by. Says, go on, Jack, off you go, my son. You try and catch up with this gaggle in front of you. You see what you can do. So sit rep. So we head in towards this final 10 minutes from round 3. Bryce F leads overall, an elite. Ranking 2.5 seconds behind him. Nicola Agard on for a chance for the podium overall in the Audi. Strong result from him yet again for the Racing Labs esports driver. Third in elite is Simon Bamber. Great drive from him at 5 places this evening. I don't think he'll get any more overall because he is 7 seconds behind of Agard, who's just looked unflappable at the top of Pro. Sharples and Tunstead running out your podium there in Pro. As for Pro-Am, well, Ruben Bearings, I mean, I feel sorry for Ruben. We've barely seen him because it's been all about this battle for second. Anstis currently controls it. Edisford currently in third. But look who's coming. It's James Connolly, and he's closing that gap down. He's so weak into the bus stop, though. He needs to just be a bit more comfortable and take a bit more of that curve. Well, quite a bit more, because he just goes round the outside of it. And that's where he loses all that time, but he's quicker everywhere else compared to Anstis and Edisford. Don't discredit Lawrence Marsh. He's still in for the fight of this one. As for M, as mentioned, Edmondson leading that one. He's up 12 places overall to 15. Bostock having led quite a bit earlier on. Dropped to second. It's that low pit stop that really cost him dearly. Andy Skinner for Tiki Sim Sports. Running up an all Porsche AM podium. He lies third in class at the moment. That's why we've lost you, Tortoise. So it won't be 3 wins from 3. Kind of escaped me. Cruz back into the pits as well. It's not been his day. So we've lost some big names from the front end. Tom Weston we lost at the start. He's retired all the way back on lap 11. Currently on lap 30 right now. As the gap starting to extrude out a little bit once more. But these guys, as Sani into the pits again. Oh, but that's him definitely out of the equation. It's a shame for him. Marsh is having Jack Barker close in on him, so 5th place might not be certain here for the Welshman. And not really able to make an impact on that gap to Connolly ahead of him. It's stagnated at, what, 1.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Edisford, it's like he's got his front tyres back again because he's all over and catching at a rapid rate and knocks onto the back of Anstis. That team Sato Ferrari looking like it's starting to weigh Anstis down, like literally like a sack of spuds. 0.4 of a second that gap, but Connolly's just even more time. Yes, it accordions, but net it seems to be losing out right now rather than gaining. And I can see you've all been busy on the chat over in Twitch. Cruz got boned. What a murder. I killed him and took his family. There we go. Standard Josh Wilson chatter there. I come to surprise you that he once got an iRacing ban for a comms chat. It's his fact alongside he's never had a sausage roll in his life. Shocking. Guilty as charged. Meanwhile, 4:10 still the gap as we are encroaching on to 6 minutes. The clock ticking down and running out of time here for Edisford. Running out of time for Connolly. And Barker has made it past Marsh off camera. Let's take a look how that one all unfolded. Oh, well, there you go. In too deep. So far off the track, practically there for Marsh that he needed his passport. But now he sits just 4/10 in front of us. That's Anstis a little bit wide at 4/10 in front of Edmondson. He's certainly 9 seconds ahead of Bostock. It's the next car behind them in the standings. Back marker just coming up behind them, so one of the Porsches moves to the outside. That's the 22 there of Owen Halliday. Incident at the start of turn one, it really cost them dearly. And interestingly there, Conley just not able to get the full momentum off the corner on the racing line. Halliday was there, but the gap has dropped to 6/10. 1 second covering Anstey, second in class, last car in the top 10 as well. You've got that honour up for grabs too. The second between himself and Conley, who's the third car in this train. Barker 1.2 seconds behind in the Lamborghini. It's his turn to make his way past Halliday, and he won't do it there. He'll feel frustrated because he just desperately wants to be part of the fight. He's lost even more time right now. As here we go, folks, through the 90. And once again, it's all about Pro-Am, and it's all about that battle for second. And are they just waiting their time, NASCAR style, just clicking down the clock? Edisford heads to the inside. He backs out of it though. Thinks twice. Didn't feel as confident as what he needed to be to get the move done over Anstis, who probably got away with that one. Got a little bit lucky due to the lack of confidence from Edisford. As Anstis still holds on to this one, but the gap covering all three of them is down to 0.8 of a second nearly now. As you can see there in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, 0.9 of a second. It's what covers it. So who gets it? Place your votes in the chat now. Is it Edisford and Anstis? Is it Conley and Anstis? Is it Conley and Edisford? Who gets those last two podium positions? As Anstis looking good off the corner, now it's time for Edisford to be a little bit vulnerable, a little bit weak. 57 minutes. This is going to be, I think, the penultimate lap of the race here. Because Rosef, he's just checked out in the front. He's gone. He is... Oh, he's going to be... Yeah, no, it might not be the penultimate lap for these guys. It might not be. It just feels like, you know, of course, NASCAR, they do come to this circuit on the few road circuits on the calendar. This is really turning out to be like, you know, just waiting your time, letting the laps just, you know, ticking them off one by one. Although, having said that, Elite is starting to shape up a little bit right now in a similar style situation here. Tunstead is 7th overall. He's not too far off of second in class. Sharples and Brockner coming along for the fight as well. Not as close as what we're seeing in Pro-Am. But still so close between them all. That's all bearings into the pits late on. Right, this is flipped on its head from the lead of Pro-Am. He's not got enough fuel clearly to get to the end, so Anstis will take the lead in class. Right, this has now become the fight for the lead of Pro-Am. Anstis in. There he is. He's on the rev limiter, clearly needing the splash and dash to get himself home. Well. It's never over till the fat lady sings and the white flag in the air. There's one to go. Here we go, folks. All or nothing now. Who's got it within them? Who's got the cojones? Who's got the speed? Is it Anstis? Is it Edisford? Or is it Connolly? As a second comes to them, Marsh has had an incident. He's jumped to the pits. He's fully out of the equation now. The Welshman, the privateer, dropping down. Half a second the gap between Anstis and Edisford. Edisford has come close a few laps ago in the entry to the bus stop, but with half a lap remaining, he's running out of time. He's running out of real estate of track now to get this one done. Anstis just needs to bring this one home. Ahead of him are corners where you can easily defend. Royce F, he's across the line. Oh, hold on, checkered flag not out though. So this is not the final lap. He must have jumped across the line just before the checkered flag flew. Which is great news for us because we get to do this one more time. So now it's definitive, isn't it? Without the incident, bearings would have been an easy win. Has he had minutes? We'll come back to that one, see if we can pick that one up shortly. It's not appearing my end that he's had anything happen to him. We'll come back to that in a bit, but here we go, we've got the final lap. I need to keep an eye on our leader, because with his cover, Paul Rosef, who's new to the championship, hasn't really had much of the limelight due to his dominance. There he comes across the line. He takes the checkered flag and the win here from Watkins Glen, round 3 of the UKSR Season 13 GT3 Championship. Congratulations to him. Nicolai Agard, let's go through the penultimate corner. I'm keeping an eye on the timing and scoring. Right, where are they on track as well? Because that second in class in Pro is looking very close. It's looking a bit tasty. Not necessarily for second, but that battle for third between these three. Is it going to change? 4 tenths the gap. I think they're going to finish as they are. We don't need to worry too much about them. A little bit further behind these guys is this little train. Your freeway fight for the win here in the Pro-Am category. Edisford having to go defensive there over Conley, who's got it within 2 tenths. Looking like Anstis will just carry this victory all the way home. But Conley, it's all about you, my friend. What can you do? We ride on board with him on the run to the line. 1 corner left. Closes it up. Here we go, folks. As we head to the drone, they're going to be, well, there's not enough in it. As we try to look down. And in the end, it was honours evens between the lot of them. No one could make an impression on one another. Wow. Someone look to the chat. You've got... I'm trying to take a deep breath here. I tell you what? That's why we come to sim racing, for moments like this. I tell you what, overall, it was a battle for 9th. But that doesn't matter. It was that battle for that winning class. So, lovely comment there from Budget Racing Noob. Oh, hello, Connolly. On Twitch, Vix R85. Without the incident, bearings would have easily went. Of course, mentioned about that earlier. But such is racing. Lambert crashed into his teammate and he ran into bearings. There you go. Ivan on YouTube saying, hey, God, impressive driving. The guy are looking absolutely, well, he's off track. I'm going to tell you what, James Connolly, you can have the honours here, my friend, of bringing this one in. Let's take a little look through some race results. We'll go through those ones. There we go. Round. I changed that as well. It's still saying round 2. The system clearly a mind of its own. Let that update. There we go. Eric Rosef. Dominant win from him for Racing Labs Esports. Congratulations to him. David Rankin coming home second. Good, solid result for the Olympus Esports driver, Nicola Agard. Third overall, pro driver on the podium. Great things to see. Love an underdog story. Simon Bamber, third in class, fourth overall. Then it was Sharples and Tunstead to round out that podium in pro. And incredibly close between all three of them, because fourth in class was Brockless, seventh overall. Rizzani, another eventful race for him, shall we say. He comes home eighth, fourth in class. Then it was the top three in Pro-Am. Anstis, Ennisford, Connolly, congratulations to Nathan Anstis for picking that victory in ninth overall as well. Solid result for him. Jack Barker, 12th, fourth in class, missing out in the end. 2 second behind our swashbuckling trio in the fight for the lead. Matt Edmondson, 3 wins from 3 for him. Completed it, mate. You may as well say, just completed it. You know, he's so good. They gave him a job in the England setup. If you know what that that's from, let me know in the chat. James Bostock, second in class. I mean, it looked so good from him on that slow pit stop, and then just after the pit stop, had no pace really for Pesek GP2. Daniel Pay, not the best race for him after we saw some great results from him early in the season. Ruben Behrings, that late stop late on, cost him dearly, and cost him the win. A dominant display, what it would have been. Andy Skinner, the first car, a lead off 1 lap off the lead, but picking up the last place in the podium. Paul Halliday, 18th overall, with the top 20 being completed by Cy Hartley and Sarni. 2 laps down in 21st. Marshall, we saw that incident late on for him that took him out of the equation, potentially even a class victory, at least being in with a chance of fighting it. Murray, Robson and Owen Halliday all 2 laps down. 4 laps down, Marvin Cruz into the retirements now. Lost him on lap 31, 35 laps completed today. Robson wins, we lost him on lap 16. Haradashi Tortoise, after dominant display so far this season, winning both the opening rounds, retiring on lap 14. And Tom Weston, we saw caught up in that incident down at turn 1, retiring the car back on lap 11. Let's a bit of chat to some of our drivers, as always. Always good to get their thoughts and such. I can see there's a whole queue of them sat there waiting to come and have a bit of a chat with me. And let's have we'll get our ducks in a row here first off. Who have we got with us? I'll tell you what, let's speak to our winner in the category, as we're going to, I'm going to slightly bodge this one. There we go. We'll check him in. Eric Rosef. Congratulations, Eric. I mean, about as dominant as they came, really, that display. We saw you at the start, and we didn't really see you again after that, because you were just gone off into the distance, and I mean, that's how it appeared, at least from us anyway. Was that how it was for yourself?
Thanks, mate. Great to be back in the league. Yeah, the race was good. The first lap was a bit sketchy. I almost lost it into the bus stop chicane. So even though I left at the start, there could have been an early evening for me. But other than that, the race was pretty decent.
And in terms of the the back markers and how to deal with them, I know Watkins is a little bit one of the easier tracks in which you can deal with people. Seeing David Rankin of Olympus was, I'd say the gap wasn't really dropping away from you too much. Was that always a little bit of a concern for you, that you might get caught up by back markers and that would undo all of your hard work?
When when leading the pack and fuel saving, I obviously need to fuel save a lot more to preserve the same amount of fuel as the ones behind in the slipstream and stuff. So I tried to get that above 1 second gap as early as I could to keep him out of my slipstream, so he couldn't preserve more fuel than I did. And after that, it was just find a good rhythm and just try to keep the gap as it was.
Well, I mean, worked out for you then in the end. Congratulations. Week's time we head to Road America. How confident do you feel about that one?
Road America is a great track. All the American tracks are great. Absolutely love to race them. So I'm looking forward to Road America.
Oh, well, congratulations on your return to the championship. Well, your debut this season. Taking the victory here, Eric Rosef of Racing Labs Esport.
Thank you so much.
No worries at all. And next up, we're going to have a chat to another the Scandinavian contingent here in the league. We're going to be joined by... is this going to transition across? There we go. That's better. Head of Pro, Nicola Agard. Congratulations, another win for Racing Labs as well, another win for Audis as well. And also to boot for yourself, finishing on the podium overall. I mean, surely it doesn't get much better than that one.
Yeah, that was a great race, and thank you. Yeah, I had Jototas in front of me, so I should have been P4, I think, but he had a spin and bus stop, so yeah, I had that. I got the P3 there, unfortunately for him, but fortunate for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes you need that bit of misfortune from someone else to give you that bit of luck. I mean, coming into this round, how confident were you feeling about securing the victory? I mean, you've looked really, really strong so far this season. Were you feeling that it was be another win for you tonight, or after qualifying, were you not so sure?
Oh, I missed it. I didn't. What's the word? I didn't put in the lap that I could in qualifying, so I missed an opportunity to be further ahead there, I think. But it was really cool to keep up with Jototas, because yeah, he's a person to look up to, because he's really fast and a very steady driver. So yeah.
Definitely. Well, congratulations, Nikolai. Winner here today in the pro category, and third overall to boot for Racing Labs Esports. Next up, who have we got? Well, we're working through the classes here, so I think it will only be right to, move down one class to Pro-Am. And, well, let's say moving down one class, certainly not moving down one class in action. Nathan Anstis, wow, my friend. I mean, wow, what a I just run out of words, really. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie.
What a drive that was.
I mean, the win, maybe a bit of luck for yourself. I mean,
100%.
One of those freaky things. But I mean, what was it more of proving more of a challenge for yourself? Not for the lack of it, of when it comes to that bit of self ego. We all have it. As much as we say we don't, of losing out potentially on the race with the winning class, or the potential at one stage not even finishing on the podium, because it was yourself and Edsford and Connolly fighting over second and third in class.
Yeah. I mean, it was hard work. Certainly, I thought Chris were going to get past me. And the most challenging bit, right at the end, 5 laps to go, hit the bus stop wall. Had about 30 degrees of wheel damage.
Oh wow!
So for the last 5 laps, I was limping that thing home. But going as hard as I could for it, really.
And I mean, once you realised you had that damage, were you then adapting your style? Or were you trying to back Eversford up into Connolly, thinking, right, if I can get him to attack him, at least it'll stop him, Chris Eversford, from attacking me and trying to get that win away from me?
I wasn't trying to back him up as such, but covering the inside. I was covering the inside of almost every corner as much as I could, just to make sure there's no way for him to get round. I mean,
not just the winning class as well, but up 10 places overall. I mean, it couldn't have been a much more of a crazier race for you. Just try and put it in some words. Just coming through the midfield. I mean, you were you caught? I think it might have been just behind you at the start, that big incident we have. I don't know whether you saw it in your mirrors or whether you were just involved in it or not.
I didn't see an instant, so it must have been well behind me.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't too far behind you. I'm sure you'll see from the looking at your replays or watching the broadcast back. But even so, well, congratulations, up 10 places.
Thank you.
9th overall, winner in the Pro-Am category. Nathan Anstis there.
Cheers, Tim.
Right, next up, let's get things already. Well, actually, I lie. I've already got half of it already ready because, well, let's face it, he's been so dominant at the top of AM, and yet again, I mean, that to do it the hard way. Maybe gave everyone a bit of a fighting chance this week. Congratulations, Matt Edmondson. 3 wins from 3 now this season, my friend.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Are you there, Matt? Have you cut
most
yourself?
Of the week.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Right, you're back.
There we go.
Hey.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had to do it the hard way this week. You know, all your time's deleted in qualifying. Were you trying to give everyone a fighting chance, or was it just one of those, just didn't click for you in qualifying?
A bit of a skill issue, I think. I'd not done too much practice from being ill, but for some reason in quali, the second to last corner, the back just kept disappearing on me. I don't know if it was like wind related, so I was like actually just crashing out on those corners. So the only lap that I was able to really get on the board, I of course was a bit late with, so ended up at the back, which, you know, I was thinking, right, okay, just, you know, solid, keep it going, just try and maximize the start, and then everybody else maximized the start for me, as it turned out.
And I mean, just sit us in the car. I'm going to try and work my magic here, probably appallingly, and try and cue this one up while you talk about it. Just put us inside the car, what it was like on that at that start, because you know you've got cars all having incidents. I think there was about 3 or 4 different incidents going on in front of you.
Yeah, it was the actual, when the lights went green, it was a bit of a similar thing to happen to me last week. Is kind of concertinaed in my lane and I didn't want to like get involved in any contact, so I kind of hung back a bit. I had Ilya, I think, round on the other side of me, going into T1, and I just backed out a bit early and let him go around the outside, and then all of a sudden I just saw a puff of smoke, and the spotter going a bit mental. So I was like, okay. So I just tried to hang it as tight as possible coming around there, and saw several cars going this way and that way, and I was just praying that none of them ping-ponged across the track in front of me, and managed to get away with that. And then I lost a little bit of time being a bit cautious, but I was able to then just sort of...
Oh, his mic's dipped out again. It's probably a good point to end it. I mean, it's absolutely crazy, but congratulations. 3 wins from 3. Matt Edmondson, absolutely dominant in that AM category. Let's have a check-in. He's been sat there waiting patiently, so, you know, sometimes it'd be rude not to, you know, deny someone a bit of a chat to myself, as daunting as it might seem at times for some people. Well, Andy Skinner, congratulations, 3rd in class at 5 places. Just talk us through your race. I mean, it was definitely an eventful one for the Tiki Sim Sport team as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of the unlucky ones. I was caught up. I think me and Owen had a bit of a touch. Once I realised what was going on ahead, I slowed down enough. Again, sorry to Owen, but that was my fault. But once I got out of the carnage, I just got my head down and just kept focusing. I felt I had some damage, but turned out I didn't, and I just kept my head down and kept running my race.
And, well, it just goes to show, doesn't it? Well, you should never give up, does it? I mean, climbed 5 places overall, a third in class. I mean, I know Matt's looked pretty much, unflappable this season. So, I mean, surely, you've got to be really, really happy with that third place. I mean, a really, really solid result. I mean, as we head to Road America next week, how are you feeling about your chances? You think you can try and make it 2 podiums on the bounce?
Possibly. Road America is actually one of my favourite tracks. I mean, this whole section now of 5 races, starting with Watkins and then at Sebring, are all my favourite tracks.
Well, a bit of a mention. I know I've built it up lots, and I have to chat to one of the drivers about it. You're the victim of it. Monza being one of them. You're saying about string of your favourite tracks, and I'm assuming that's one included in it. It's going to be in the rain. Do you think that's going to be a bit of an equaliser, and it's going to change your tactics of how you normally approach it? Other than before the rain, as is a bit of a given.
Well, the first track I went to when the patch came out for rain was Monza.
It's like the start of the line in, Andy.
Yeah, so I literally was just like, I'm going to go and drive Monza, get used to these conditions. So I've had a little bit of driving at Monza in the wet. It's going to be absolute carnage. I reckon when the rain starts to come, I reckon there will be a lot more accidents. I think whoever capitalises on the rain at those races is probably going to win them.
I agree with you. I'm definitely looking forward to those ones this season. Well, congratulations, Andy. 3rd place in AM, and at 5 places finished 17th overall.
No worries, thank you.
And well, that is all we've got time for. Let's, if I pick the right screen, that might actually help. There we go. Right, well, I'll tell you what, it's been drama-filled this evening, hasn't it? Let's just cue the music, It's fitting. Gotta have the beats, and we'll even try and time it in. We came. We saw. Did we conquer? Well, some of us did, some of us didn't. I mean, well, as always, Watkins, Glen, it brings drama, doesn't it? Without fail. And it was no different here this evening. There was that time on drama. It's always through the S's though, isn't it, normally? But tonight it just wasn't. It was all pretty clean through there. But then it all started to just kick off. It was merely just a mere marinade to get things ready for what we were about to experience later on. And again, it was Pro-Am that brought the action. You've gotta feel so gutted for quite a few of those drivers in that Pro-Am fight, because Ruben Behrings, he was gone. It looked like he was going to win it. That late pit stop late on cost him the victory. And what we were looking like a fight for second, the 3-way fight. Well, it could have been a 4 or a 5-way fight. We were down to 3. It was Anstis versus Edisford versus Conley. And then it became the fight for the lead. And it was Nathan Anstis who won that one out. Edisford, he's going to be ruined. That time he was the run to the boss stop on the penultimate lap alongside Anstis, and he backs out of it. And that surely snatched away from him that chance of winning here today. Matt Edmondson, can somebody stop the UKSR Hoy Porsche driver in AM? 3 wins from 3 so far this season. He gave everyone a chance this week. He had all his lap times to lead in qualifying, but he picked his way through the carnage at turn 1, then 90. And off he went in hot pursuit of James Bostock. And he caught him, and his Bostock just had no pace after the pit stops and just didn't get his strategy right. Too much fuel in the car, gutting for him. But Eric Rosef, what can we say about you? And Nikolai Agard, both Racing Lab Esports drivers, both dominant. They just mopped up. Again, for Agard. Rosef on his debut this season, he came and he conquered. He led every lap. He set the fastest lap of the race. Qualified pole. He got the Grand Chelem. And it's about as dominant as you can get. But well, in a week's time we head to Road America. The short trip geographically here at Watkins Glen. And it's a similar type circuit. It's going to deliver once again on the action. Well, we'll find out in a week's time here on Twitch and YouTube for UKSR. I've been Tim Cox. Thank you very much for joining me from Watkins, Glen. And we will see you in a week's time here at the channel. Goodbye. God bless. Hope you had a great Easter. I will see you then. Goodbye.